Alright, so I've got my 2015 FJ-09 taken apart, doing the AIS. So this piece right here actually mounts in here. I haven't seen many people do this on the FJ. Maybe they do it on the ZMT, but so it kind of mounts in there. You've got your plates right there that go on top. As you can see, I'm kind of in the middle of this, and then it's just simply tighten them back down. There is like a rubber gasket up underneath. I'll show you how to take them apart. Now I would suggest leaving this portion on there. I actually took the little reed valve off. Sorry, I'm trying to do this. So this is actually like a dense rubber fiddle. And so I took the reed valve off, that's right here, and leave it in there. So when these plates go and sit in, as you can see, these are the PSR. Pretty nice little pieces, not too terribly bad priced. They just rest in on top. Well, you get the point. You see how they rest right there. So and that one covers there. While I'm in here, I'm also going to do get a little sparkulators. The bike's got 20,000 miles, so I figured I'd do all that. I've also got my ECU sent off in return from V-Cycle Nut, and then had to order some new side tank fairings because these right here, you can see, have broke on both sides too. So ordered those, but just wanted to do kind of a reverse cycle of this. So I'm going to install these, the last plate and everything. Okay, so something that I noticed while I'm doing the spark plugs is, one, I would suggest you get some sort of flex head. It's just easier to manage. You will need to drop your radiator. There are 2 bolts up in here. One's right there, and then one's just on the other side of the bike, and that'll give you enough room to push it forward. You will need to remove your horn on the front too. I'm gonna show you guys something. My first spark plug was hand tight. Literally put the socket in there just to twist and make sure I had the right size socket, and it came loose by just hand. So I'm gonna look at that, it's already loose. Holy smokes. Alright, so I'm gonna try this other one right here too. See how it feels. I don't know, that might not affect anything because it is in there, but alright, so I'm gonna look at that. Oh my gosh. Holy cow, it's barely in. Anyway, I don't think it affected. I mean, the bike ran great, honestly. It's been well maintained. Look at that. See, I barely had to twist it to break it loose. Sheesh. But the first one, I legit unspun it with my hand, which, again, I don't know. The bike ran great. Maybe by the grace of the good man above. But, and this, like I said, this right here gives you enough wiggle room to push it out of the way, because you're going to need to be able to get to that guy. And then, of course, to get the mount, I've got a little flex head. So, and these plugs, let's see if we can, it's running pretty decent, I guess. These plugs are pricey. So I called around to see how much they are locally. I mean, they're like 15 bucks a piece. And I go to my dealership. My favorite dealership I go to is Gainesville Motorsports, and they're substantially cheaper. I mean, I think it was like 28 bucks for all 3, so versus 15 a piece. So but yeah, so I mean, I don't know. I think these are original. I mean, by the rust and everything that's on the ends, and a little bit of rust, it looks like, is probably original. But the bike ran great. So got a new air filter, exhaust coming, all that other good stuff. So I'm going to continue on. Alright, so with this PSR kit, you get 2 block offs, right? And then you get an Airbox plug that goes right there, right? So basically when you install this, this is all the freedom that you're getting inside of here. So you no longer have all this piping that kind of congests in here. Now you will have the plug that goes to the control of that AIS system. Just tape it up, move it off to the side somewhere, and you know, get ready to get back on the road. I mean, it's, you know, tuck it up somewhere, tape it nice and good, and then you can start to reassemble your bike now. So I mean, everything else from there is pretty simple. You've got your, this hose will plug into there for the crankcase breather, and so you just kind of rest back down. And I mean, this is one of the easiest bikes to do an AIS delete on. So, you know, get all that plugged back in. You've got really just these 3 little Allens, and that's all that holds on, and these 3 up here that hold on the lower airbox. Like I said, don't forget to connect that hose, and then that's all it takes to put the bottom back on. That's all it took for the airbox. So then you just tighten up these 3 little guys here, one there, and then since you've got your plug here now, I think that's where a lot of people do the marble mod. I just assumed to just move all that stuff because, again, I mean, it's not about the weight savings. I just prefer the simplicity of it underneath the tank. So get your new filter, which I was gonna go back to the K&N. I just prefer a more of a factory. I mean, you guys are gonna dog me for it, but that's okay. I've had some issues in the past with K&N, and you know, to each their own, right? But you know, it's just personal preference. So it's if I'm not mistaken, High Flow makes the filters for Yamaha, so I mean, it just kind of goes in right there. The other thing I did, which was suggested by the cycle nut, if I can find it. Oh yeah, here it is. Duh. So wipe it off. It had a bunch of oil and stuff in it. I'll clean it off. But so what he suggests is to do the Airbox mod. His is a little bit less angled. I shortened mine and opened it, so whenever you effectively go to put this back on, I'm so sorry about this. You know, so the pipe used to go, but now it's, you can see it goes directly to the filter now. So evidently it's minimal. Pull that off, but you know, helps get the intake open back up. And it's really simple. I mean, the whole thing is, I don't know, probably 8 inches. So you cut a pretty decent amount off and use the Dremel to clean it up. But yeah, I mean, it's not that bad. I mean, the exhaust is coming in today, got everything else put on. I think this thing's gonna be a fun little bike. So hopefully, if you've gotten to this far, I mean, you're probably already aware of how to put all the tank bits and pieces back on, and it's just, you know, trying to help out and give information and see how simple it is to get to the AIS system underneath the Airbox, which is, like I said, super simple. And these are, you know, comment, let me know if y'all have had issues, but both of these are cracking in the same area, so I need to order some new ones from Yamaha, and they're not expensive. They're, I don't know, 20 bucks a piece, but you can see that piece broke, but they're cracking on both sides, and they were cracked when I got it. I thought maybe I broke it because, you know, being a little bit of a thick boy. Anyway, I hope this helps. Like I said, there's plenty of videos and stuff to take off. All the side fairings and stuff are super simple. You take off the top ring, side fairings, But again, haven't really seen much of the AIS underneath it. That's where I was kind of curious how involved it was. And you know, the R1, I think I had a 16 R1 had a bit of trouble because the airbox was all finagled underneath. Same thing with my 14 R1, my FJ-07, all of them were kind of a fun adventure getting up. But this is probably the easiest. Like I said, 3 bolts that hold the bottom portion on, and then you've got the 3 clamps that hold the intake tubes on to the throttle body, and then you're underneath. Pull the old stuff off, tape off that one, throw your block offs, attach a radiator, and that's it. So you know, hopefully this helps. If not, it's just hopefully you enjoyed me sitting here rambling about stuff that you probably already knew. But you know, this has been a pretty cool bike. I've got the KLR too, so kind of similar but different. But anyway, happy adventure, guys. Look forward to riding.